If you're anything like the way that I was a couple of years ago, you might fall into this category. Tired all the time, you don't feel like doing anything. Maybe you don't care that you don't feel like doing anything because you're too tired to even care. You don't have any energy, you don't go to the gym, you kind of just like wake up, you go to work, and you're totally going through the motions and you're not happy about it. You're starting to get tired of your own shit. That's literally how I was a couple of years ago. And the way that I got out of this was by lowering my standards. And I will explain exactly what I mean by this. Have you ever heard of the term micro goal setting? Well, that's just a fancy way of saying lower your standards. So a lot of the times when we set goals, we set really, really big goals. And it can feel really daunting because it's a big goal. And because it's so daunting, we don't even want to tackle it or face it. And so then you don't even start because it's too hard. And having a large goal is really great for the greater vision of things, but having low standards for the day is the key to getting started. We live in a world where people want to accomplish everything at once. That mindset is actually really hurting you more than you think because good things take time. With that being said, I want you to take out a blank piece of paper and just write down 5 things that you need to do today. But I want you to write it down in this format. This is just an example, but make progress on cleaning my room. Make progress on my business plan. Make progress on X creative project. Make progress on organizing my files. Make progress on cleaning out my closet. And so this is really, really magical. If you notice, every single goal that I have to check off for the day isn't finish cleaning my closet. It isn't finish my business plan. It's progress. Make progress on it. The visible proximity of a finish line is associated with increased motivation. And this is also known as the goal gradient effect, which says the closer we are to achieving a goal, the harder we work to reach it. Also, when we see visible progress towards a goal, it triggers the release of dopamine, which positively reinforces our behavior and increases our drive to continue working towards the goal. This is why micro goal setting is magical, because it provides a series of smaller finish lines that are actually scientifically proved to be psychologically motivating. You'll realize that the hardest part is just getting started. And once you get started, you'll see that it's kind of hard to stop and you'll keep going. And when the standard is so low, like make progress on my room, when the standard is so low, it will be silly for you not to get started. Getting that inertia going is sometimes the most difficult part of getting started. It's just like starting a car. When you start a car, that takes up the most energy, but then you get into a groove. So the whole point of this section is for you to set goals that are small enough to get you started, because that's the secret, is getting started. A lot of the times we set goals that are just way too out of reach and it's unmotivating. It makes us not even want to get started. So lower your standard of your goal for the day and you will realize the compounding effect of just getting a little bit done each day. The second part of lowering your standards is realizing that all of the boxes will never be checked off. If you're anything like me, you are knee frickin' deep in life. There's always something to do. Being an adult, like it feels like there's so many things to do and so many things to accomplish, and we don't want to start one project until we're done with this project. And I'm not telling you to start a million projects at once, but I'm just letting you know that the feeling of it never being finished is completely normal, and I don't want that to be an anxiety inducing to you. And if you accept that as normal, it eases the anxiety a little bit, because anyone that tries to make it seem like that they have everything together and at the end of the day they finished everything on their to-do list, no, that's not how it works. There's always going to be something to do, and that's just life. Another way to lower your standards to get more done is doing small, short focus blocks. So rather than telling yourself that you're gonna sit down for 8 hours and do something and work really hard at it, just do 30 to 45 minute blocks with a 15-minute break in between. Say for your day you have 4 45-minute focus blocks. Think of each block as a rep at the gym. So once you start focus block number 1, you have only 45 minutes left until you get a break. Knowing that your break is so soon makes distractions way less enticing, and it also makes you work harder because, as I said in step 1, the visible proximity of a finish line makes you work harder towards your goals. That can also be applied to this as well. If you see the finish line, it's only 45 minutes away, you might as well just work as hard as you can because you're gonna be taking a break soon. I mean, it depends on how much I have to do for the day. Like sometimes I only have 4 45-minute focus blocks, but other times I have 8. Organizing my day into small, short sections rather than thinking I'm gonna go all out, 8 hours, 12 hours, sit at my desk. I do way more if I just have tiny, short bursts of focus. And with sitting down and working, a lot of the time doing less is more to avoid burnout, especially. The last part where you can do less to accomplish more is stop saying yes to freaking everything. Like saying yes to going out with your friends, saying yes to happy hour, saying yes to dinner, saying yes to the concert, saying yes to the trip, saying yes to those new shoes. We say yes to so many things, and I feel like our generation so much has such bad FOMO because of social media and stuff like that. But you have to realize that successful people are not saying yes to those things all the time. And if you feel pressured by your friends to be going out and doing all these things, I'm not saying to like ditch your friends, but value your opinion and your self-respect over their opinion. I don't know if you've heard of him, but there's another YouTuber called Alex Hormozy, and he said something that always really stuck with me, which is the hardest respect to earn is your own respect, because we're all so caught up in the opinions of others and wanting to impress others with those new shoes or like going out to happy hour or going on that trip. But what about you? What about being faithful to you and your own goals and that self-respect? Say yes less, and you will notice that you will be propelling towards your goals exponentially faster.